Hey, my friends, jumping back in with our barefoot assassin, MISA. Somebody was telling me they just saw her, and she only had a pint of whiskey. She was drinking beer. So, I just get a little concerned, that she eventually get hooked on that stuff, and we don't want that to happen to her. Um, Not a good road to go down. So, anyway, let's jump back in.
Hurtist. This band was formed with 6 members who performed live several times before disbanding in October 2012. You can find 3 of their live videos on their YouTube channel. MISA and Akane also met in 2012 as they were going to the same school, the Tokyo Music School. They connected immediately as instrumentalists and worked together on several projects. The same year, they made an appearance as actors in an MV of the singer-actress Becky with the song Yoruka Switch. In 2015, MISA, along with Konami and Akane, were at the 5th anniversary party of the idol band Predia in Zepp, Tokyo, as a backing band. You remember the link between Predia and Band-Maid, right? There was a band called Mochi to Cheese made by Akane, Konami, and 3 members from Predia. All right, we are in May 2013. Prototype announced that they will disband in July, and Band-Maid posted an audition announcement on May 29th. The next month, on June 5th, MISA announced on her old account linked to Prototype that she's going to an audition. Does this mean that MISA had the perfect timing to join Band-Maid?
Absolutely.
Let's see how she was recruited. In another interview, MISA confirmed that Akane tried to recruit her into Band-Maid right when Prototype announced their disbanding. But Akane didn't know about this information, so she was bold enough to invite MISA to join another band. And it paid off. Now, MISA has said that she was in izakaya when Akane called her, and she was pretty drunk, so she had to take at least the night to think about it. MISA listened to the demo and found that the songs were proper rock music and cool. She was actually afraid that this band would be an idol band. As she didn't want to stop playing bass, MISA quickly accepted the invitation to join Band-Maid the day after Akane talked to her.
Nice.
So in the end, Miku recruited Konami, who was found on Nico Nico. And then Konami recruited Akane just after the restaurant she was working at closed, and Akane recruited MISA just after her group disbanded. Wow. If that is not fate,
I love the
I
narrator's
don't know
voice.
what is.
Super
Now
cool.
that MISA had joined Band-Maid, it's a new start for our favorite bassist. A new start, yes, but with one problem: the maid outfit. MISA was never into cosplay, so she wasn't used to wearing this kind of clothing. She felt really uncomfortable during the first live shows and with the first version of her outfit. It was also around this time when MISA thought about quitting Band-Maid. It was during the first or second one-man performance, and MISA was already working a lot in addition to her work for Band-Maid, so she was in really bad physical and mental condition. She felt that the music she liked was too far from the music she played with the band, and started to think about leaving and forming a band where she could play the kind of music she liked. She talked to the manager, who proposed that she take a good look at the view from the stage at the Masters and Princesses and decide after that. Thankfully, the reactions and responses from the crowd that day moved MISA deeply enough so she chose to stay with Band-Maid.
Thank
She
God.
was sure that this band had great potential and could become way bigger. Time flies by, and we are at that moment where Konami is writing songs for the band. From world domination, but more in Conqueror and Unseen World, MISA actively participated in songwriting on her bass lines and has felt more freedom since then. Konami gives out notes from time to time depending on the song and what she has in mind. While writing music, MISA thinks more about what would serve the quality of the song rather than be sure that it's playable immediately. She had difficulties recording some songs of Unseen World because of that, but she managed to get them recorded in the end by spending more time on the hardest parts. And even if a song is really difficult,
Practice, guys.
MISA will always practice enough so that she doesn't have to look at her hands while she's playing live. For example, the first part of No God was written by Konami, and she asked MISA to write the rest of the song. At this time, MISA was learning bass and drum programming, so she wrote those two parts, including her solo. Get down! It was a new experience for her.
Guys, it's kind of like, it's so cool. Renji does such great documentaries. So informative. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, oh, I'm going to quit, you know. But she worked hard. And that's the key, guys, if you want to learn an instrument. It's hard, but you can do it. You just got to stick to it. Play it every day. If you're having a difficult time in one part, just play it over and over. Just start out slow, and as you get more comfortable, build your speed. And the key to playing, I think, for me anyway, is to relax. When you're not relaxed, if you're tense because you know that there's hard parts coming up, it makes it harder to play. Our Barefoot Assassin, I can't imagine Band-Maid without her. She's such a huge part. And I'm so glad that bands in Japan seem to be more about the music and not about who wrote what, because that breaks up more bands than anything. They all go in there thinking one for all, all for one and one for all. We'll all put our names on it no matter who wrote the songs. And in the end, it never works out that way because somebody says, well, I wrote most of the songs. I should get most of the money. Too many bands like that, do that, and it ruins the band. It breaks it up. When you get bands that don't work together, that just put money, fame ahead of the music, it never works. Somebody always winds up leaving. Kiss is the perfect example of that. They always said the worst thing they did was to make all the merchandise that they did back in the day. You know what I mean? It was everywhere. And it became less about the music and more about Kiss, the corporation. And then they came along in the 90s with the Unplugged, MTV Unplugged. And I picked up a guitar or a magazine, I don't remember what it was, but just a rock magazine. And, there's probably 100 pages in it. Good sized magazine. And I'll bet you there was 40 Kiss ads selling something. Kiss caskets, Kiss coolers, Kiss everything. And I was just like, I lost all respect for them. I love them, the music, but on that side of it, I have zero respect. They kind of drove Ace Frehley and Peter Criss out. Paul and Gene, got to be their way. I don't think they were ever treated really like equal members. And that's just an example. And I don't mean Kiss any offense. I grew up with Kiss. My first rock record was Kiss Alive 2. And I had everything, that they had out. So it just makes me sad. However, bands in Japan seem to be more about the music, hey, let's write it together. So, One OK Rock is a perfect example of that too. They all write stuff, but they're like brothers. There's no dissension in the ranks. It's like, we trust Taka, we trust what he's thinking. So I think Band-Maid is a lot like that. Work together, to make the music better. And that's key.
and she had to send new riffs to Konami every week for Unseen World. And although she obviously sent her demos to Konami, MISA used to send them to another member, Psyche. MISA sent her work to Psyche to confirm that her bass line was easy to sing with, and also because Psyche praises her a lot.
That's respect, guys.
And MISA loves to be praised by Psyche when she's working on a new song. As she wrote in an interview, "I just send them to her without saying anything in order to get praised by her. That's my source of energy. That makes me enjoy drinking better." What
yeah, you can see the bottle up above her head there too. Bottle of whiskey.
There are two particularities regarding MISA when you see her perform on stage. The first one is that she never wears shoes when she's playing, with some exceptions on very hot days during outside performances, as the stage can get really hot. This is something she has done since the beginning of Band-Maid. You can see her wearing shoes in some MV, but most of the time, she likes to play barefoot. She answered a question from a fan in 2014 on Twitter, saying that heels hurt her feet and are really hard to walk in, so she chose not to wear anything at all.
Smart move.
MISA even ended up with the nickname the Barefoot Assassin. Why? Well, first of all, she plays barefoot. And during the Gold Rush interview, when the band was asked about the maid outfits, and particularly MISA's, which didn't look like a maid outfit, Miku answered that it's an assassin-made outfit. The second thing you'll notice about MISA is that she always has a bottle of whiskey on her amp while performing live. And she even drinks in the MV of Don't You Tell Me. If you look closely at every performance, you can spot the bottle that she drinks during MCs. During the US tour in 2022, she even had her own opening ceremony where she opened a can of beer in front of her mic to make a loud sound, and the audience really loved that moment. MISA used to open a can of beer or drink whiskey during MCs for a long time, and she even shared a bit of her whiskey with a fan in 2019 during a concert in the New York Mercury Lounge. She is thought to be the one who drinks the most, but if you had a chance to listen to the Radio for Omesu-sama episode aired on August 1st, 2021, you would learn that they all actually drink a lot, except for Konami, who falls asleep before she gets a chance to drink. Despite her love for alcohol, MISA tweeted in May 2022 that she came to realize that it was too much for her and she decided to be more careful in the future.
All right, guys, we'll stop her here. I didn't realize they all were like big drinkers. Wow. You see MISA with that bottle, on her amp all the time, on her orange amp. This band is just so cool. And I totally get her, not wanting to wear heels. I mean, it really amazes me. Like Miku walking around in those heels, it's just, man, gotta be painful. Anyway, my friends, I hope you're having a great day. I'll be back with more Band-Maid. You guys know that. Hope you're having a great week, guys, and we'll see you soon.